Hey, bitch, that nigga had you crying on your birthday. I do niggas the worst way.
One of my favorite parts about life is when you start to like a guy and then you go insane.
Girls all over the world.
There's nobody else for me, and I don't want anybody else. Maybe I'm just a goddamn stupid person.
She was crying on my shoulder. All I could do was hold her.
How are you? I'm okay.
You don't get to tell me you feel bad.
I'm sure what's
I get my pip. Wait.
Isn't it strange? And I know that I can survive. I walk through fire to save my life.
Valley girls giving blowjobs for Louboutins. What you call that? Head over.
You lie. Now I know that you love me. Do you swear you'll stay forever, even if our face don't stay together?
Cause I be the baddie bitch, young money.
It's an army.
He ain't in the twist, but he fuck.
With the Barbie. It's a...
And I feel perfectly fine, but I've been screaming and fighting and
your hands in the holes of my sweater? Just take your breath away. I don't mind.
No.
It's no use, Joe.
Please
Joe, we've
don't.
got to have it out.
No,
I have loved you ever since I've known you, Joe. I couldn't help it.
don't be dramatic. It's only some plastic. No one will love you if you're unattractive. Oh, this is
think I like you best when you're just with me.
I know that you hate me.
My life is sweet like cinnamon. Like a fucking dream, I'm living it.
You're the dumbest bitch and with the biggest heart. I love that.
And I'm trying to be sane.
Yeah, much stomachs all in knots. You got the one thing that didn't think you'd ever stoop so low. Get him with the old Miguel, you.
Let's fucking go. Let's go. I guess.
Matilda, you talk of the pain like it's all alright.
Tone case and I been had racks and I don't run up in your track cause I been did that. Ay, bitch, I been did that.
Chill in the kitchen of a city tune. The light would flicker.
You look tired. I don't sleep well anymore.
Do you swear you'll stay forever, even if our face don't stay together?
You're a hypocrite. You're a conformist. You're a liar. I opened up to you and you judged me. You're an asshole. You're an asshole.
She was crying on my shoulder. All I could do was hold her. Baby, though I close my eyes, I know. But we're knee deep in the passenger seat, and you're eating me out as a casual now.
You don't know how lovely you are. Oh, that's your girl, huh? Well, I just hit it. It's ASAP, nigga, live. I let go of my claim on you.
Be my friend. I'm the man who can't be moved. 'Cause if one day you
I don't love you anymore. Goodbye.
did I cross the line?
Do you think I'm a good person? Deep down?
That's the thing. I don't think I believe in deep down. I kind of think all you are is just the things that you do.
Standing in the yard, dressed like a kid. Now she's white and alone is dead. Christmas Eve with your mother and sis. Don't wanna fight it, but your mother insists. I'm such a romantic. I never remember how things really happen. I guess you're attractive or something.
No.
It's no use, Joe. Joe, we gotta have it out. I gave up everything you didn't like. I'm happy I did. It's fine, and I waited, and I never complained.
Standing in the yard, dressed like a kid. Now she's white and alone is dead. Alone is dead.
But what I needed then was a friend. And you abandoned me. And I will never forgive you for that.
But when you would hold me and hold me and hold me, girlfriend or girl that's a friend. 'Cause
Blackbird singing in the dead of night.
But at night time, when there was nothing to do, and the house was all empty, I'd always think of Jenny.
How could you sit there and look me in the face, watch me cry, and lie to my face?
You said some things that I can't unabsorb. You turned me into an idea. that I'm your baby.
Why is it like that? Like, motherfuckers can't smile no more? Like,
Dude, I'm worried about you.
yeah, I'm worried about me too.
We're gonna have to work at this every day, but I want to do that because I want you. I want all of you.
It's just anatomy. You're only half of me. Still you. But I love my boyfriend. He
What you gonna do with it? Where you gonna take me?
Take you?
Yeah.
You for a Waffle House?
Mm-mm.
No?
I like Ruth Chris.
Ooh, you not my type of little shit. Nah.
You're lost, not mine. Don't call me again and don't tell me slipping through my fingers all the time. I try to capture.
I just wanted to talk to you. I miss talking to you.
No, it's for the better. No, it's for the better. No, it's for the better. It's your birthday, so I know you want to ride out. Even if we don't.
If this is about my soul, take it. I don't want it without you.
I'm not waiting for you anymore.
You always let your emotions get in the way. That's the problem with you, Lorelai. You don't think.
Mom, please.
He's just a man, Lorelai.
No, he's not.
Oh, so what are you telling me? That this was all worth it because he was the love of your life, that this was the man for you.
But I do care. I care about everything too much.
I think it's so crazy when police officers and law enforcement are investigating one case and just trying to figure out one murder, and they find other information and start peeling back the layers to find out that the killer they're looking into might be responsible for taking more than one life. That is so crazy to me. Those are the scariest people, in my opinion. That's terrifying. We're back in the UK. We're talking about Amanda Jane Dowler, also commonly referred to as Millie Dowler by her friends and family. This was in Surrey, England in 2002. Millie was a 13-year-old schoolgirl. She was abducted in plain sight, broad daylight on March 21st, 2002. She lived in Surrey with her mom, dad, and her older sister Gemma. Her and Gemma were the best of friends. They were really close. Millie was described as a ray of sunshine. She would light up any room that she walked into. She was a little shy, but very friendly and very approachable. The kind of person that you always wanted to be around. March 21st, 2002, it was a Thursday. Millie called her father after school around 3:47 p.m. to let him know that she was going to be home in 30 minutes. Her and her friend had stopped by a cafe after school, but they left the cafe at 4:05 and Millie was going to start her walk home. Only 3 minutes after that, so at 4:08 p.m., she was seen walking along Station Avenue by a friend that was friends with her older sister. That was the last time Millie Dowler would ever be seen again. When Millie didn't come home, her parents and her sister began to get worried, so by 7 p.m. that night, she had been reported missing. Immediately, a search began. There were so many officers and so many detectives that got called in to help. Actually, some of the detectives that helped in this case were the ones that helped out in the Sarah Payne case. Sarah Payne was only 8 years old when she was kidnapped. I have a video of her on my page as well if you want to look at that. Officers went to go speak to Millie's friends, specifically her friend Danielle, who confirmed they were at school together. They went to the cafe, and then Millie called her dad to let him know she was going to be home, and then she started to walk. That was all caught on CCTV footage as well, which is why we know exact times. But her friend said she was not concerned about Millie walking home at all because it was broad daylight. They lived in a nice area. Millie was going to be walking alongside a main road. She did double check with Millie to make sure she was fine with walking home, and Millie just said, "Don't be ridiculous. I will be absolutely fine." And then they went their separate ways. March 22nd, so the next day, it's a Friday now. This quickly reached nationwide news. Millie's face was absolutely everywhere. There were over 100 police officers and helicopters searching streets, fields, bodies of water, thinking of any possible place that Millie could be, but there was nothing. They knew that because this has just happened, people's memories of that day were still fresh, so they wanted to talk to everyone they could in the chance that somebody remembered something, a small or a big detail that may give them a hint to know where Millie went. When officers and detectives were first looking into this, they did not think that there was foul play involved or that something horrible had happened. Because she vanished in the middle of the day, she was seen walking home one second and the next second she was gone. She was on a main road, nobody saw anything, no one reported any sort of screaming or anything alarming, making them think that there was no sort of struggle. So they kind of started thinking that maybe she ran away on her own. Officers started getting CCTV footage of the path that Millie would have taken on her walk home. She wasn't seen there at first glance, but it had just rained, so there was a little bit of water in the camera footage, kind of making it hard to see. They ended up having to send that footage to America, to the FBI, to get that cleared up. That ended up taking 6 months. After 6 long months, they got the footage back, and you can see a car, and it looked like a human figure was talking to someone inside the car. At first, they thought that may have been Millie, but that ended up being cleared up, and it had nothing to do with her disappearance. Millie went missing in March. It wasn't until September 18th that human remains were found in some woods that were over 20 miles away from where she went missing. The body was so severely decomposed, they were not able to declare a cause of death, and it didn't have any clothing on it. It didn't have any belongings around it or anything. So through dental records, they were able to confirm that it was the body of 13-year-old Millie Dowler. They brought in experts to look around the area where Millie's body was found, and they were able to confirm that her body had been left there the same week that she went missing back in March. This was now quickly changed to a homicide investigation. They closed down the surrounding area from where she had been found. They questioned over 6,000 people and still came up empty-handed. November 2004, cops get a call from a different department saying that they may have a lead. Officers in London had been looking into the deaths of multiple young girls around the area. They had a suspect named Levi Belfield. Levi now lived in London, where he was suspected of those murders, but prior to that, he lived very close to the area where Millie Dowler disappeared from. Levi was a 35-year-old man. He had 5 children with 3 different women, also had a past criminal records for theft and assault, as well as previous charges for abduction and false imprisonment in 2001 and attempted murder in 2003, but he was never sentenced for that. He was described by ex-girlfriends to be really sweet one second and absolutely psychotic the next. He was known to be very violent towards women, had absolutely no respect for them, and just looked down on them, really. He was an extremely controlling partner in a relationship. He wouldn't allow them to do anything without him. He was also violent, so he would often kick them, hit them, punch them. Yeah, he was absolutely horrible. And cops had actually gone to his house previously in connection for Millie's murder because at the time he lived so close, they were trying to question him. They knocked on his door over 10 times, but he just never answered, so they never talked to him. The 2 other murders that he was suspected of, first was 22-year-old Amelie Delagrange. I think that's how you say her name. August 19th, 2004, Amelie had a night out with her friends and she was going to take the train back home, but ended up taking a shortcut through a field. When she was walking through the field, she got hit really hard over the head, fell down, obviously was left unconscious. She was found, taken to the hospital, but died there shortly after. When they were doing the investigation for that murder was when Levi Belfield became a suspect. While they were doing that investigation for that case, they decided to look at similar attacks in the area, so they looked into Marcia McDonald. She was murdered February 4th, 2003. Very similar case. She was walking home late at night, hit over the head, died a few days later. So they keep peeling the layers back, really trying to figure out who this Levi guy was, and he was terrifying. They also later find out about 18-year-old Kate Sheedy. In May 2004, she was out with friends, took a bus home late that night. Levi saw her, drove his car to hit Kate at a very high speed, then reversed the car, ran her over again, and then drove off, and Kate somehow survived that and was able to call the police. She survived, thankfully. She was able to recover, and later she was able to give a full description of that white car that had ran her over. While looking through CCTV footage, they see the white car that was following the bus that Kate was in, and that white vehicle was identified identified as the same exact car that Levi was driving at that time. That's how that connection of the car and Levi were put together. And they looked back at CCTV footage from when Marsha McDonald was on her way home. They see the same white car that had been following her. July 6, 2005, Levi was brought in for questioning in connection to the kidnap and the death of Millie Dowler. The interviews are so weird because he doesn't say anything, meaning he doesn't deny anything. They even ask him, do you deny it? You haven't denied anything yet. And he just keeps saying over and over, no comment. Investigators and law enforcement could immediately tell by Levi's demeanor and the way that he was acting that he was unbelievably uncomfortable. An investigator even said that when he walked out of that interview room, he was 100% convinced that he had the right man, that he was the one responsible for all the deaths. Now they just have to prove it. What they needed now was concrete evidence, something that could lead them to an arrest, which is when they connected with Levi's most recent girlfriend, Emma Mills. He had children with her. Emma Mills said that at the time of Millie's death, Emma and Levi were living together in a place that was less than 1 mile away from where Millie went missing. However, at the time of Millie's disappearance, they weren't actually staying at that house. They were house sitting for some friends, I guess. They asked Emma about the night of Millie's disappearance. Emma says she has no idea where Levi was that night. She tells officers that Levi did not get home until around 10 or 11 p.m. and he came back in a different outfit that he left in. They go to bed. Levi wakes up around 3 and 4 in the morning and says that he has to go back to their house. So they're currently sleeping at the house that they're house sitting in, but for some reason, Levi has to go to their house at 4 in the morning. The next day, Levi starts moving out all of their stuff from their house and moved them into this new awful house for no reason at all. Emma, his girlfriend at the time, thought this is getting really weird, something is suspicious, something is wrong, especially because their bed sheets were missing. So she goes up to Levi and says, what were you doing on the night of the 21st? Levi's response to that is, what do you think I've done, Millie? Emma also tells the police that the car that Levi was driving at that time was a red Nexia. I think that's how you say that word. Interestingly enough, Levi had actually reported that car missing days after Millie's disappearance. With that information of now knowing what kind of car Levi was driving at the time and knowing what they should look for, they go back and look at the CCTV footage they have of where Millie should have been walking on her way home. And there it is. The red Nexia car. So they immediately put out tips and alerts for the car. When they put this car out to the public, another young girl comes forward saying that she recognizes that car, that the night before Millie's disappearance, the car tried to pick her up and lure her inside of the car. She described the man driving and it was a perfect description of Levi, confirming that he was driving around the area trying to pick up young girls. Police then speak to another one of Levi's ex-girlfriends. One of the comments that she made was that her and Levi would often take their dogs on a walk. The place where they would walk their dogs is the same woods where Millie's body was found. That confirms that Levi was aware of the woods and would often go there. They have all these pieces of information confirming their suspicions and their theories of Levi. May 2006, Levi Belfield is charged with the murders of Amelie, Marsha, and the attempted murder of Kate. Now the police were just trying to find direct forensic evidence to show that Levi killed Millie as well. While the investigators are trying to find evidence to prove that Levi was the only one that could have killed Millie, Levi gets sentenced to life in prison for the other murders. Experts were able to narrow down the exact spot where Millie Dowler was taken from. So the experts narrowed down that she was taken from Station Avenue. The only residential areas that you have surrounding that is a neighborhood called Collingwood Place. That neighborhood was Levi Belfield's neighborhood where he was living at the time. The belief and the conclusion that they came up with was that Levi took her from that street, took her back to his apartment, killed her there. It's thought that when he went home that night around 3 and 4 in the morning, it was to clean up Millie's body and dispose of it in the woods. All the evidence points to that. Everything is adding up. He then got rid of the car, moved out of the apartment, obviously was trying to cover something up, and it definitely was the murder of Millie Dowler. Finally, March 31st, 2010, 8 years after Millie went missing, Levi Belfield is officially charged with Millie Dowler's abduction and murder. And remember, he was already serving 3 life sentences for murder and attempted murder. June 23rd, 2011, he was found guilty and sentenced to another life sentence. In January of 2016, Levi admitted that he abducted and killed Millie, but the next month, February 2016, he changes the story and says, never mind, that wasn't me. Thank you all for taking the time to watch this video. Massive kiss on the forehead to every single one of you. I love you so, so much. You have this 14-year-old kid, a child, that ended the life of his 24-year-old algebra teacher for seemingly no reason at all. Today's case takes place in 2013 in a place called Danvers, Massachusetts. Colleen was a 24-year-old algebra teacher at Danvers High School. Growing up, she was really close to her family. She had her mom, dad, and 2 siblings. And you know those kids that enjoy school? They're good at it. They like doing it. They like doing their homework. Colleen was that person. She was always very good at school. She looked up to her teachers so much that she decided that she wanted to be a teacher one day. So she decided from a very young age that that was going to be the career path that she was going to choose. She went to college for it, had a great time, made a lot of friends, made good grades, and became a teacher actually right out of school. She was offered her dream job and she was so excited. She felt so lucky. She couldn't believe that she was lucky enough to get her dream job. She was looking forward to it. She accepted a position to be an algebra teacher at Danvers High School. And because she loved her teachers, which is why she decided to become a teacher in the first place, she wanted to put a lot of effort into making real relationships with her students, making her classroom feel like a safe space. She wanted to make sure that she was a positive influence on her students and that they really enjoyed the time that was spent in her classroom. October 2013, Colleen gets a new student in her class. His name is Philip Chisholm. He's 14 years old. He's originally from Tennessee, but his parents are going through a divorce, so his mom decides to move them to Massachusetts for a fresh start. So October 2013, he attends Colleen's class. Immediately, Colleen notices that he's having a hard time getting adjusted. He's having a hard time making friends. He's having a tough time with his academics. However, with sports, he's doing very well. He played soccer and was very talented in that regard. But when it came to math, he was not necessarily the best. Because Colleen cared so much and she wanted to make sure that her students were comfortable in the classroom and that they felt like they were learning, she offered to help him. October 22nd, 2013, she asked Philip to stay behind so they could review assignments and so she could help him. Philip usually walked home, so his mom was expecting him home right after school, but he didn't get home right away, so she thought maybe he had soccer practice. She didn't get worried right away. 2 hours or so went by. Philip had not texted or called, so she was confused because they were new to town. He hadn't really had the chance to make many friends. It's not like he would have gone to a friend's house without telling her. So she calls the police and lets them know that she can't find her son. Police ask her where his last known location was, and she says that she dropped him off at school that morning and has not heard from him since then. Police make their way over to the school, decide to get the principal to send out a mass email to all the teachers saying, hey, there's this new kid in town. He just started at our school. He's missing. He was last seen at the school. Does anyone know anything, or has anyone seen him? The principal does luckily get a response right away, but it's not about Philip. It's another math teacher, and she's like, I'm not sure where Philip is. However, Colleen has been missing as well for a couple hours, and no one knows where she is. She says that her parents, Colleen's parents, had actually contacted the police as well, and her dad was also at the school now looking to see if Colleen's car was still there. Her car was there. So it's around 9 p.m. now. School was out at 4 p.m. So now it's 9 p.m. There's 2 missing people. They have not been seen since around the same time. They were last both seen at the school, and they start connecting the dots, figure out that Colleen is Phillips's teacher, wondering if they could be together. They go to Colleen's classroom and they see that her stuff is missing. So her car is there, but all of her stuff is gone. So she obviously had the intentions of leaving for the day, but didn't get to. It's just not making sense. The police then decides to reach out to both cell phone providers for both Phillips's phone as well as Colleen's phone to get the last known location of the cell phones. The last known location of Colleen's phone is about a 20-minute walk away from the school. The last known location from Phillips's phone is a 30-minute drive at a movie theater. There are now 3 separate teams looking at 3 separate locations. One group is looking at the location between Colleen's phone and the school, so that 20-minute walk. The second group is searching at the movie theater nearby there for Philip, and the third group is searching inside the actual school building. In their searches outside, they only find Colleen's purse, but it's empty in a random street somewhere nearby the school. Inside the school, though, specifically in the girls' bathroom that was nearest to Colleen's classroom, they found what looked like blood smears on the floor. They gather up all security footage from the entire school, and what they found is so disturbing. The suspicious footage starts around 3 p.m. Colleen is seen walking out of her classroom. She's smiling. She looks like she's in a good mood. She walks towards the girls' bathroom and then goes inside. Shortly after, 14-year-old Philip steps out of Colleen's classroom. He looks kind of confused. He's looking at Colleen walking down towards the girls' bathroom, and then he goes inside of the classroom, steps back out, but this time he has his hood up and he's sort of covering his face. He makes his way down the hall and into the girls' bathroom. He's also carrying something that looks like gloves. He walks into the girls' bathroom behind Colleen, and there is no more footage. There's obviously no cameras inside the bathroom. There's no more footage for 11 minutes until a different girl, a student, walks in, and then she immediately walks right out. A little after those 11 minutes, when the girl walked in and walked out, Philip walks out of the bathroom. He walks fast outside of the school. He changes from a blue hoodie into a red one. He puts that hoodie up as well as a mask. And then he's seen running around like a maniac everywhere around the school, like different hallways up and down. And I mean running. He was just running around looking confused, almost as if he was looking for something, but also didn't know what he was doing at the same time. It was weird. He's doing that for 10 minutes, and then he walks back out of the school, walks back in with a trash can. One of those trash cans that you probably have outside your house that like roll on the two back wheels. Takes that trash can into the girls' bathroom, the same bathroom where Colleen had walked into, is in there for 6 minutes, and then is seen walking out with the trash can. He is looking so suspicious now because he has his hood up, but he also has